We talked a little bit last week about Roman Polanski. We went through the ins and outs, that is, of the Roman Polanski trial years ago, his fleeing to Europe, the recent arrest. I actually want to restate that my feelings on this have gotten even stronger. Last week I said that it just seemed to me that if he had been convicted of something and did not serve his time, that he is a fugitive, and I can't think of any reason to free him, so to speak, or do whatever it is that many of his friends and other individuals were saying. So after hearing people like Deborah Winger say this is all just about an arcane technicality, and if he had committed this crime in Europe, the statute of limitations would have been up already. So what are we really doing arresting him now? And hearing Whoopi Goldberg on The View. If you haven't heard Whoopi Goldberg on The View, take a listen to this.
Was not charged. I know it wasn't rape.
Yeah,
there is a
statutory.
Child molest, maybe. I'm not sure.
It was something. It was something else, but I don't believe it was rape. And when we get all the information, somebody will tell me in my ear. All I'm trying to get you to understand is when we're talking about what someone did and what they were charged with, we have to say what it actually was, not what we think it was.
What he said he did. He gave her Quaaludes. He gave her champagne. She was drugged. She was 13 years old.
They were
he asked her, here's a transcript. But that's what I'm saying. You're 13 years old. She was still a child.
Initially he was charged with rape. Go ahead. And then he pled guilty to having sex with a minor. Okay? And he went to jail. And when they let him out...
45 days.
And when they let him out, he said, you know what? This guy's going to give me 100 years in jail. I'm not staying. And that's why he left. So that's why I wanted to be really clear, because I wanted to know exactly what we were talking about.
Okay, I'd like to know exactly what Whoopi's talking about. And I like Whoopi Goldberg. But I think that she is just wrong on this. It wasn't rape. It was just rape. It's like if I say, it wasn't murder. It was murder. You know, it was just murder. It wasn't murder. That it doesn't make too much sense to me. So let's actually talk about what he did and what actually happened instead of what we think was right. Now, I have this transcript here. I say that, Lewis, we role play this transcript, and you play the role of the young girl in this, just because I think
I will not alter my voice in any way for this reading.
You just do like a kind of a high, do a Michael Jackson interpretation.
I refuse.
Okay. I'm going to be I'm going to be the attorney. This is the exact exchange from the trial with the young girl. Did you take a Quaalude?
I took part of it.
Where'd you get this part?
Polanski gave it to me.
After he kissed you, did he say anything?
No.
Did you say anything?
No. Besides, I was just going, no, come on, let's go home.
What was said after you indicated that you wanted to go home when you were sitting on the couch?
He said, I'll take you home soon.
Then what happened?
Then he went down and started performing oral sex.
What happened after that?
He started to have intercourse with me.
What did you say, if anything, before he did that?
I was mostly just on and off saying no, stop, but I wasn't fighting really because there was no one else there and I had no place to go.
What did he say, if anything?
He didn't answer me when I said no.
Did you resist at that time?
A little bit, but not really because...
Because what?
Because I was afraid of him.
Does that sound to you, Lewis, like rape or sex with a minor? You tell me.
Well, I don't really use the term rape.
It sounds like rape.
Yeah, well, I'll just call it rape.
I agree with you, and I have to side with what ends up being. I don't know why it ends up being conservatives on this, but can you imagine? And this is really what I'll leave this topic with. Can you imagine? And good read, by the way, on that. I think it would have been better with a kind of a high, girly voice.
I stopped my acting classes a long time ago.
Can you imagine if this guy, Roman Polanski, instead of being a movie director with lots of Hollywood friends, was a truck driver? If a truck driver fled after raping a girl 30 years ago, who knows how many years ago, who would be saying, let him go today? Or even worse, imagine if this was a Muslim. It would be on America's Most Wanted the day he left the United States, right? Would it not? Middle Eastern man convicted of unlawful sex with a minor flees to the Middle East. This is, to me, so different because it's Roman Polanski, movie director, than because it's Bob the truck driver or...
well, of course, it's always different when it's a celebrity. Usually.
it's different, but it's not necessarily always more leniency. I mean, look at Martha Stewart. She was made an example of. It was the opposite. I don't think just because it's a celebrity, there's more leniency.
Well, there was way more leniency with Martha Stewart because of how little time she spent in prison.
I disagree. I think Martha Stewart would have served no time if they didn't want to. Remember, she didn't go to jail for insider trading.
Well, yes, they wanted to make an example of her.
Right. I think it wasn't that she would have served more time. I think she would have served no time if she had not been made an example out of, especially given the fact that she was not even convicted of insider trading. She was convicted of obstruction of justice. Anyway, not that I like Martha Stewart. No, I mean, I don't mind her. I don't want to say anything I don't mean, but not that I want to defend her. I just think that just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean that we expect more leniency. I think in this case, if it's Bob the truck driver or Muhammad the imam, we see a completely different attitude from everybody on this case. Well,
keep in mind that unfortunately we're in a country where usually drug charges are more severe than rape charges.
I don't know about usually, but there's evidence to suggest that in the same states, crimes convicted by people of similar backgrounds, similar age, around similar times, sometimes the drug crime will get a more severe punishment than a crime of rape, which may be pled down to unlawful sex with a minor where the minor didn't want to have sex and was forced to. You know, not rape, according to Whoopi, but unlawful sex, you know. I'm curious to see where this goes. And I said it last week, we'll continue to keep an eye on it.